everybody, I'm sure you can tell right now that I am not in my usual place. I'm home for the holidays, and I didn't have enough room in my suitcase to pack my camera and my tripod, so right now we're going off of my vlog camera, and you're on top of a makeup case. So, let's get started. It's the first Monday of January, which means it's time for December favorites. Whoop-de-doo. I'm excited for 2017. 2016 for the world, not so great. 2016 for me was actually pretty darn good. So I'm excited to see what 2017 will bring. But on to my favorites. Number 1 is a CD album that I've been listening to. It's Ella Wishes You a Merry Christmas by Ella Fitzgerald. If you haven't listened to this Christmas album, I definitely suggest it. It's really good, especially if you like the style of Ella Fitzgerald. Number 2 is I Was Here by Beyonce. I seem to have a lot of music this month, but we're just going to, let it go. But I Was Here by Beyonce is one of those songs that helped me get through a hard time when I was thinking of why I existed and whether or not I wanted to stay and keep going, doing what I'm doing, keep living, whatever. And it was just one of those songs that helped me through, and I really like the message. If you ever have a chance to listen to it, I highly suggest it. I've been absolutely loving my short hair. I recently cut it, as you saw in Vlogmas. I think it was somewhere within the first week. I can put the links to Vlogmas down below if you want to go check that out. But I cut my hair and I absolutely love it. Sure, the color is gone, which I did love, but it feels healthier and lighter, and I'm so in love with it. Lately I've been watching a lot of Asian dramas on Netflix. I'd say Korean dramas or Japanese dramas, but it's all over Asia. I've just been loving it, all of them. My 2 favorites are Good Morning Call, which is Japanese, and it's one of those girl meets boy, they fall in love, they have a fight, then they fall back in love or whatever. The generic chick flick drama, but I don't know, maybe it's because it's the first one of this genre that I watched, but it's really good, and I really appreciate the way they handled it. It wasn't just some lovesick couple. They both had their own personalities and their own backbone, and they had their own ideas, and they stuck to them, and I just really like the independency of the 2 people who came together. It was really good, and it made my heart hurt. The second one is Miss Panda and Mr. Hedgehog, and this one is Korean, and it's about 3 bakeries and the things that connect them, and there's a competition sort of thing going on, and sure, there's romance in there, but it's mainly about friendship and the bakery and doing what you love and sticking to it, and it's just so cute, and I absolutely love it. That one as well. I'm definitely watching that one again with my mother, so if you have any interest whatsoever, I suggest you check those out. Another album that I found because of some commercial was Tetra by C2C. Happy is the song that's in the commercial. You probably have heard it, but I think the album itself came out in 2012, and I just now discovered it, and it's really great, especially if you love electronic-like music. It's not full-on electronic, but it's also not anything else, really. I don't know how to put things into genres, but it's really good, and I've been listening to it. It's my pick-me-up song. The last week of December, I went up to Twin Falls, Idaho to visit with my sister and best friend, Sarah. You probably know her from this channel. I've had her on some of my collabs. And then I took her to Palm Springs last spring break, which I also vlogged, and I'll also leave that in a link down below. But she's absolutely amazing, and I love her so much, and I'm so glad I got to spend time with her, and I feel really grateful for being her friend. And the last thing, which is actually a physical thing now, is knitting. I've been loving to knit. This is a brand new scarf. If you saw my Vlogmas, I was knitting almost every single day because I needed to make my mother, my father, my grandmother, and my aunt, my brother, and my grandfather scarves. I'm working on my grandfather's right now. It's after Christmas, but that's okay. I'll give it to him later. I also haven't finished my brother's. But the other ones I got done. I've absolutely been loving it. It's a really great thing to do while watching TV. I have to be doing something with my hands if I'm just sitting down and watching something. I think it's part of being a dancer and always moving around. But it's really great. It's really calming because it's a repetitive movement that sort of helps get you out of repetitive thought. If you have a repetitive thought process or a thought process that gets you stuck in a loop and you can't get out of it, even if it's not a small loop, if it's a big loop that you've been struggling through, I find repetitive movement helps get me out of that because you have to focus on the movement more than the thoughts, and then the thoughts sort of become free. I don't know. it's another thing to do besides journaling, which I highly recommend. Those were my favorites for December. I'm surprised I got through all of them and managed to narrow it down. December was a really big month for me, and I had so much fun. It was the end of the year. It's the beginning of 2017. I've done so much in 2016. I graduated high school. I went on that trip with Sarah to Palm Springs. I started college. I did the summer intensive at Sacramento Ballet. I met new people. It's been a whirlwind year for me, and it's crazy looking back at the beginning of 2016 where I sat in front of the TV watching the ball drop, bawling my eyes out because I just didn't want it to happen. I didn't want to have to deal with a whole nother year. But now, going into 2017, I have a lot more optimism. I know kind of more where my place in the world is. Just a little bit. Not much. But I'm happy this year, and it's a really good feeling, and I hope it continues on through 2017. I hope you guys had a great year. Let me know what your December favorites were down in the comments. Also, anything really important that happened to you over 2016. I hope you guys had a happy new year, and I'll see you guys next Monday. Bye!